Hi, I'm Zoe Jones and welcome to my yoga practice. So before this session, you would have done some grounding and some mobility exercises and some sun salutations. Okay, we're going to go into the main phase now. And before we do that, we are going to do some grounding as well, as I always do. And in our Tadasana, we're just going to ground, and then we're going to move through some Vinyasa and some Hatha Yoga in this session. And it is all about hip opening and strong hips and stretching the hips and strengthening them as well. Okay, so plenty of triangles, eagle preps and pigeons. Okay, enjoy. So we're going to just ground ourselves in our Tadasana. So feet shoulder width apart, shoulders back, hips forward, palms out, relaxing. Thank yourself for coming to your mat, and imagine now the roots are coming up through the ground and grounding your feet down onto the mat. Okay, and then we're going to inhale, bring your arms up, raise them up towards the ceiling. Bring your hands together into extended mountain pose, and then we're going to come down on the exhale into our forward fold. In half forward fold, so flat back, changing your gaze, and then planting your palms down, bringing your feet back into plank, staying nice and strong, keeping your arms strong, shoulders relaxed, engaging the core and the buttocks, and then hinge forward, exhale into our chaturanga, coming up, inhale into cobra, and then as we exhale down, tucking the toes under, lifting our hips nice and high, feeling the stretch in the legs, pushing your chest towards your thighs, really sort of stretching out the arms, relaxing the shoulders. And then we're going to inhale, bring your left leg up, raise it up to the sky, keeping your hips nice and square, bringing your knee through all the way towards your chest, planting at the front so you're in some kind of right angle with your leg, and we're going to come up into our warrior one. Inhale, and then as you exhale, go into warrior two. Bringing your arms, your body to the side and your arms out, front and back in a line, looking down at your wrists. And then what we're going to do is, this way you can use your block if you need to. And what we're going to do from warrior two, we're going to straighten the front leg, rear foot out 90 degrees. And then we're going to just lean ourselves forward, making sure the hips are still forward. And then we're going to drop our shoulder down and then look, turn our gaze up to the sky where our upper hand is, so it's in line. If your hips are coming forward, you might want to sort of raise your body up slightly, or you can use a block. So you plant the block just below your outer foot, and then you get that support, raising your body up. Okay, and then stay here for a couple more breaths. Couple more breaths, and then come back up into warrior two. And then we're just going to step forward, coming into our Tadasana. And then we're going to put all the weight on the left leg. And then we're just going to put a micro bend in the left leg and bring the right leg up, grabbing hold of your ankle and putting it on just above the knee in the left leg. And then we're going to bring our hands to heart center and then just sit back. Breathe in evenly into our eagle prep. So balancing, focusing on a point where you could just use that focus to concentrate. And then we're just going to release the leg back down to the floor without touching. And then we're going to plant our leg just behind us. And we're going to go into a side plank. So our feet are faced forward. Both legs are straight. We can put our hands on our hips if we want. And just gently come forward with our hips, hinging at the hips, making sure that they are both square, and then bringing our chest down towards our thigh, and then eventually our hands down towards the ground. And this is where you can also use your blocks to help you. And it's just there to support. And then we're going to hold for a few breaths. Inhaling as we exhale, just relax into the pose. Relaxing. Then we're just going to step forward. And then forward folding whilst we're down in this position. Forward folding. And then half forward fold. So back flat. And then placing your palms on the ground, stepping back into plank and going into our vinyasa. Staying strong, engaging your core, and then coming forward, dropping your body down, your chest first, make sure it's nice and flat, and then hold for a couple of breaths, and then release your body to the floor, and then coming up on our inhale into our cobra. Make sure the shoulders are back and the belly is pointing, the belly is coming down towards the earth. And your gaze is up, tucking the toes in and then coming back up into downward dog. Walking out the downward dog if you have to. If not, just allow your hands to sort of press down, which means your feet can also press down, distributing the weight nice and evenly. And then inhale, bring your right leg up, bend at the elbows, at the knee, coming through. God, not getting these elbows and knees right. Coming through, bringing your knee towards the chest, planting your foot down, turning out your rear foot and coming up into our warrior one. Inhaling as we exhale, bring your body down. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, come into our warrior two. And then we're going to, once again, front leg comes straightens out. Now, if you don't want your front leg completely straight, you can keep a bend in it, it's not a problem. And then we're just going to reach out as far as we can until we can't anymore. And we're going to turn and hinge downwards, bringing our arms nice and in line, shoulders back, hips forward into our triangle. Breathing nice and evenly. Gazing up at the sky. Sun's in my eyes, so I'm gazing too much here. Okay, and then putting a bend in the front leg to come up into our warrior two, and then coming forward into our Tadasana, putting all the weight on the right leg, putting a micro bend in the right leg too, and then taking hold of your left ankle, placing your ankle on the top of the knee, making sure you find a focus somewhere. And then we're going to come into our eagle prep. So hands to heart center, shoulders back, head up. Sitting back as far as you can without tumbling And if you do come out of it, just go straight back in, find that focal point, that point where you could just look, taking the breath in, elongating, and taking the breath out. And then what we're going to do is inhale, lengthen. As we exhale, we bring our foot off, and then we're going to bring our leg back. Make sure both feet are in line. And then we're going to put the hands on the hips, straighten up both legs, and then we're going to inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, fold our body forward into, and try not round up the spine. If you're rounding up the spine, that's where you need to bring your blocks into it. Okay, adjust if you need to, and then exhale down. Feeling the stretch in the backs of the legs, the hamstrings. Breathe in. One more breath. And then as you inhale, bring your leg forward and then relax yourself into a forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, plant your palms down, coming back into our plank. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop your body down. Remember, you could go on your knees if you have to. And then coming up into Cobra. And then once again, back into Downward Dog. Relaxing. And then we're just going to walk our feet up towards our hands. And then up into a half forward fold. Exhale, full forward fold. And then coming up vertebrae by vertebrae into our extended mountain pose. Hands to heart center on your exhale. Okay. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale down into our forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold, so flat back. Exhale, plant your palms down, bring your legs back into plank, holding the plank for 5 breaths. 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you breathe out, just release your body to the ground, and then inhale, come up. And this time we're going to go into an up dog. Just go into Cobra if that's all you can do. But up dog is just bringing your, really engaging your thighs, bringing them up off the ground and your hips. And then exhale down, turning your toes under, tucking your toes under, and then coming up into our downward dog. Breathing. Inhale, bring your left leg up, raise it up, keep your hips straight. And this time, we're going to bring the knee forward, and instead of stacking your foot at the front, you're going to turn your foot inwards on your left leg and bring yourself down into a pigeon pose. Now, what I say to a lot of people, if you need any support, you can use your block, your brick, or your block, depending on how much height you need. And then we're just going to bring our foot up as much 90 degrees as possible. But if that's not available to you, then that's okay. Do what you can do. And then we're just going to bring the tips of our fingers to the mat. We're going to inhale, lengthen as we exhale. we're going to drop our body forward. Then we're going to come up and then exhale down. And if you can, inhale up. If you can, bring your hands behind your back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop down. And this offers a little bit strengthening of the hips. Inhale down. Sorry, inhale up. And as we exhale, we come down. We're just going to do one more of these. And you should feel the strength. And it would assist you better when you do just a normal pigeon pose. And then we're going to drop our hands down. Inhale up. And then drop your body down. And we're just going to stretch. And what you could do, you can lay on your arms. Or you can put your head, your third eye, on a brick. And just release, relax. And allow the deep stretch in your hips. Breathing evenly. 2 more breaths. And then as we inhale, bring your head up, release the blocks, put them in front of you, and then tuck your rear toe under, and then bring yourself back into downward dog. Really just kind of walk this out. There we go. Pressing down, gazing up, and then inhale, bring your right leg up, raise it up. Bend at the knee, bringing it all the way through. Once again, dropping your front leg into a pigeon pose, making sure that your hips are nice and square. So I'm going to try and move this up where possible, putting the brick under because my hips aren't as flexible as they need to be. So I am working on them. Okay, and then place your hands at the front, hips square. Inhale, lengthen, exhale. Drop down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop down. And then if you can, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, drop your hips forward. Inhale up. This is really strengthening. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Next inhale, we're going to bring yourself up. Release your hands to the mat. And as you exhale, just drop your head down for a nice stretch of the hips. 5 breaths. 1, 2. And just relax into this pose. I know sometimes it really is a bit hard and you feel maybe a bit uncomfortable. Just the more you relax, especially on the out breath. Okay, and on the next inhale, rise your body up, and then we're going to bring ourselves back into downward dog. Move this out the way, downward dog, and then we're going to drop our knees down either side of the mat. Bring your 2 big toes together at the rear, and then drop yourself into extended child's pose. Bringing your head to the mat and pushing your bum towards your heels. And just relaxing. You can also use your blocks as well. And there's another way of doing this. If you want a little bit more extra stretch in your shoulders, you could raise yourself up, use your blocks, and then just relax. Then breathe. Okay. And then on the next exhale, just raise your body nice and slowly. And we're going to come into our bolt pose. And then just stay here for a couple of breaths. And then you can swing your legs around, or I cross my ankles and then come back into a seated position, bringing myself forward. And then what I'm going to do is lay down into a supine position and then turn myself over towards the left side. And I'm going to rest my head against my hand, or I can put it up, it's not a problem. And this is called buns are still. This is us strengthening our hips, our gluteus maximus and minimus and medius muscles. Okay, so I'm just going to raise my leg up, and then I'm going to point it to the front of my body, raise it up again to the middle, up again to the rear, up again, and then keep doing this. Breathing in and out, in and out. And you can feel that strengthening the legs. We're going to do this 10 times. To be fair, I've kind of lost count now anyway. So we're just going to do it a couple more times on each side. Really feel that. So one more time, front to back. Okay, excellent. And then just bring your knee up towards your chest just to release that muscle, because it does get tight. And then we're going to turn over onto our other side. And then we're going to up, front, up, down, up, rear, up, front, middle, front. And you can feel it. I know it may hurt, but you just got to breathe through it. Breathe nice and easy. It does hurt, but that means something's happening. Okay? You're working those muscles. And sometimes we really, really do struggle with our hips because they're not, we stretch them, but we don't strengthen them. Okay, and then release, bring that up. Okay, and then down. And we're just going to push ourselves up, coming into a seated position again, and just bring your knees towards your chest. I'm going to do just one more sort of stretch and strengthening exercise with our hips, and we're going to work on the adductors as well. So we're going to face the long edge of our mat. We're going to open up our legs. You can either activate your ankles by flexing them, extending them, or you can keep them flexed up. It's entirely up to you. And on this stage, I'm going to use a brick. Okay. You can, if you haven't got a brick, then you can imagine it. But we're going to bring our body nice and high. We're going to bring our hands down either side of our thigh. And you may kind of want to bring your legs in for this if you haven't quite got the strength. So we're going to place our hands down, and we're going to inhale, bring our legs up and then back. So you're bringing it up over the brick and back. And this is really helping flex the quadriceps and the hip flexors. And this is a good exercise, ready for any sort of split exercise. I'm going to do this for 10 times. So I think I'm on about 6 now. 7, 8, 9, 10, and then back again. And you can really kind of feel it in the hip flexors. Okay. Now we bring Over to this side, planting our hands down, and then inhale, bring it up, exhale down, up, exhale across, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And if you struggle, maybe 5 is better to start off with. It's entirely up to you. Okay, and then whilst we've got our legs out, we're going to inhale, bring our arms up, and then we're going to reach out as far as we can, and then relax our bodies down. You can, if you want, bring your head down to the block, making sure your toes are staying up, your thighs are turned out and they're not sort of turning in. Inhaling and then exhaling, relaxing. And this is stretching out our adductor muscles, our inner thighs. Okay, and then inhale, come up. And then bring your legs together. Really giving yourself a knees to chest hug, just to counteract that pose. And then we're going to come round. And we are going to lean ourselves back into a supine position, bring our legs up, hands out to the sides. And we're just going to inhale, lengthen. As we exhale, we're going to drop our legs, our knees down to the left-hand side. Make sure your knees are parallel and your gaze is now towards the right side. Ensure that your right shoulder is also down on the mat. And that nice twist in our body. And then inhale up, lift your legs, come to neutral. Exhale, drop your knees where they lie. So make sure that you've always got this right angle in your knee. Drop in to the side. As I said, keeping your shoulder down. And then we're just going to look out to our left. But equally, you can feel that stretch in the hips that we've been working on. And then inhale up. And then we're just going to lift our feet up. We're going to bring our knees out to the side. Take hold with your hands of your inner feet and then just drop. Drop your knees to your side body. Just relax. And then you can, if you want, just turn or rock on your back. Relaxing. Okay. And then as you come, release your feet. Just bring your knees towards the chest. And then bring your legs out in front into corpse pose. Allow your feet to float out to the side, your whole body to relax, your lower back on the ground. Just relaxing, breathing. Giving yourself this time to congratulate yourself on your practice. And just relaxing with your breath. Feeling at one with nature, hearing the birds and all the sounds, just helping you relax further and further. Okay, and when you're ready, turn to the right hand side, or bring your knees up. Turn yourself to the right hand side and come up nice and slowly, nice and easy. Twist your body round and then come to our seated position. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank yourself for coming to your mat today. Releasing your hips, strengthening your hips. Go on with your day feeling absolutely fantastic and mobile in your hips. You just feel lighter and it's nice. So all that hard work is paying off. Namaste.